Here we're looking at the 2660 vertical tillage tool. This is going to essentially be our Swiss Army knife of tillage tools. Its main goal is to help size chop residue and then also help prepare a level seed bed. So we could use it as a fall tool to break up residue in stalks, and then also as a spring prep tool to air out the soil and level the seed bed off and get it ready for planting.
Here we have the Commander Pro serrated blade, 22 inches in diameter, 1.5 inch concavity. The reason for the 1.5 inch concavity is so when we hit obstructions, rocks on the face of this serrated edge here, we direct all the energy back into the shaft directly over the top of the shaft to the center of the blade to reduce blade cracking and breaking. Here we have our blade angle hydraulic adjust to go from 0 to 12 degrees so we can adjust our working hydraulic angle to better size residue, turn soil, and mix soil, leave the soil how we want it to for each application for fall or spring.
These blades are mounted at a 7¼ inch spacing, so that's going to allow us good residue flow. There's slight concavity to them too to help make that room so we can pass that residue on and through the tool. You'll also notice that the way that blade's shaped is the edge of the blade is sitting over the center of where that blade mounts on the spool. So if we do hit obstructions, that's going to send that shock load right to the center of the blade versus putting flex into the blade, because if we're getting flex on it, we're going to have more tendency to crack and fatigue that blade and have more tendency to break a blade at that point.
So here on this 2660 VT, we have the scraper mounted directly behind the shaft and the blades to keep these blades clean of dirt, debris at all times. This blade with a self-sharpening edge is what makes it such a great blade for sizing and managing residue. Here we have the solenoid valve here, so if our true set controller were to fail or we were to lose the ability to set or adjust our machine from the cab using true set, we have the ability to screw in these poppet valves here in 4 locations on this disc to go from true set mode to manual mode right in the field and keep the machine moving.
These discs are mounted on a C-shank cushion gang, which is going to allow us to maintain a leveler depth across the working width of those disc blades, as well as help protect the disc from shock loads from obstructions, rocks, and other obstacles we might encounter in the field.
So here we have our outside hydraulic stabilizer wheel. We also have the option of installing an additional stabilizer wheel for sandier soils to help maintain the machine's levelness. We have the option of going with hydraulic stabilizer wheels and also active stabilizer wheels, which will actively change with the terrain of the ground. We have the radial flotation tire option on this machine. For the size and weight of this machine, with the radial tires that are on here, are going to give us our best float through the field through all conditions.
As we look at the rear of this machine at the Pro Finish leveling system, we've got a reverse knife edge basket in the lead, followed by either a round bar rolling basket or a flat bar rolling basket. The reason we would look at one versus the other, the round bar is going to do a little better in rocky soils. It's going to hold up better. The flat bar works good in sandier, lighter soils where we're not so worried about bending up the basket if we get into rocks or anything like that. Basically what we're looking at as far as the baskets here and why we have this one in the lead, basically the rumbler here, the crumbler behind it, this reverse knife edge basket's going to be slapping the ground and basically kind of making a shock underneath there to kind of level the subsurface below it. And then our rear basket's going to be the finishing attachment, which is going to level off the top, break up any clods, and kind of smooth everything out. With the Pro Finish leveling system, we also have the ability to change our rolling basket setup if conditions get a little more challenging. So we can lock up the rear basket with these stops, so if we want to still keep running with one, or if it gets worse than that, we can also lift both of them hydraulically and lock them up in the up position and continue to run. In summary, the versatility of this tool is what really sells it. Being able to possibly replace 1 or 2 implements on your operation, combine them into one that's going to do both spring and fall work, and have the adjustability to keep up with changing conditions.
Here we have the true set for the 2660. We have the ability to change our disc depth, our blade angle, our basket pressure, and our fore and aft tilt, all on the go. And we also have the ability to set 4 presets with true set. So here we have the ability to build a prescription map for each one of our functions on our disc: our depth, our blade angle, our pressure for our rolling basket, and our fore and aft. The ability to have an on-the-go prescription rate really is what sets John Deere apart from the rest of our competitive vertical tillage units.